Hello friends. Today we will learn about important events in history that happened on January 1st. These events reflect various aspects of our history like politics, sports, science and culture. So let's start this journey through time. International events on January 1st. 153 BC. Roman consuls start their annual term of office for the first time. 104 BC. General Gaius Marius holds a triumph in Rome, parading the defeated Numidian king Jugurtha in chains. 45 BC. Under the reforms of Roman consul Julius Caesar, the Julian calendar comes into effect. 1 AD. Start of the Christian era. 89 AD. Lucius Antonius Saturninus, governor of Germany, declares himself Emperor of Rome. 177 AD. Emperor Marcus Aurelius's son Commodus becomes youngest consul in Roman history at age 15. 313 AD. Rome launches indiction cycle for tax and administrative use. 404 AD. The last gladiator competition took place in Rome. 456 AD. Gallo-Roman scholar Sidonius Apollinaris recites a panegyric in verse honoring Emperor Avitus in Rome. 468 AD. Gallo-Roman scholar Sidonius Apollinaris recites his third panegyric in verse in honor of Emperor Anthemius in Rome. 990 AD. Russia officially adopts the Julian calendar. Year 1001. Pope Sylvester II bestows the title of King of Hungary upon Grand Prince Stephen I. 1430. Jews of Sicily gain relief from attending conversionist services. 1438. Albert II of Habsburg becomes King of Hungary following the demise of his father-in-law King Sigismund. 1502. A Portuguese expedition led by Gaspar de Lemos discovers the Bay of Guanabara, mistakenly naming it Rio de Janeiro, thinking it was a river entrance. 1504. French King Louis XII loses Gaeta, his last stronghold in the Kingdom of Naples. 1515. Francis, Duke of Angoulême, becomes Francis I of France, succeeding King Louis XII. 1527. Croatian nobles choose Ferdinand I of Austria as the King of Croatia at Sejm Parliament. 1573. The Guzen set fire to Woudrichem, a key strategic town in the Dutch revolt. 1583. Holland and Flanders adopt Gregorian calendar. Year 1600. In Scotland, the new year starts on January 1st instead of March 25th. 1622. The papal chancery adopts January 1st as the beginning of the year, changing from March 25th. 1651. Charles II Stuart becomes King of Scotland. 1660. The English civil servant Samuel Pepys starts writing his famous diary. 1673. The first regular mail delivery service commences between New York and Boston. Year 1700. Protestant Western Europe, excluding England, switches to the Gregorian calendar. 1700. Russia adopts the Anno Domini calendar era, replacing the Anno Mundi era used by the Byzantine Empire. 1707. John V ascends to the throne as King of Portugal, succeeding his father Pedro II. 1710. Jean Marius, a Parisian merchant, secures a 5-year royal privilege for inventing the folding umbrella, a novel design for Europe. 1739. French explorer Jean-Baptiste Charles Bouvet de Lozier stumbles upon Bouvet Island, the planet's most isolated landmass near Antarctica. 1758. The International Commission on Zoological Nomenclature adopts Linnaeus's binomial system from the 10th edition of Systema Naturae as the standard for naming animals. 1772. The first traveler's checks go on sale in London, usable in 90 European cities. 1775. English potter Josiah Wedgwood writes a letter to Thomas Bentley announcing the development of his famous Wedgwood blue color. 1781. The Pennsylvania Line mutiny erupts as 1,500 soldiers under General Anthony Wayne revolt against their officers at the Morristown winter camp. 1781. The world's first iron bridge spanning the Severn River at Coalbrookdale, England, opens to the public, symbolizing the Industrial Revolution. 1785. John Walter publishes the first issue of the Daily Universal Register, later known as the Times of London. 1788. The Daily Universal Register rebrands itself as the Times in London. Year 1801. Italian monk Giuseppe Piazzi discovers the dwarf planet Ceres. 1801. Great Britain and Ireland unite to form the United Kingdom. 1806. Napoleon Bonaparte terminates the French Republican calendar 12 years after its adoption. 1808. The African Benevolent Society forms in Philadelphia to provide education for Black Americans. 1808. In West Africa, Sierra Leone becomes a British colony. 1808. The United States declares the slave trade illegal through the act prohibiting the importation of slaves, though slavery continues. 1814. Field Marshal Blücher leads his troops across the Rhine River at Caube, initiating the Allied invasion of France. 1818. The White House officially reopens after extensive renovations. 1831. William Lloyd Garrison begins publishing The Liberator in Boston, advocating for the abolition of slavery until 1865. 1852. Netherlands introduces its first postage stamps. 1863. The first homestead claim under the Homestead Act is staked near Beatrice, Nebraska. 1863. Texas Confederates recapture the city in the Battle of Galveston. 1863. President Abraham Lincoln issues the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing all enslaved people in the Confederate States. 1869. Asunción, the capital of Paraguay, falls to Brazilian forces under General João de Souza da Fonseca Costa during the War of the Triple Alliance. 1873. The Japanese era system begins. 1876. The Reichsbank begins operations in Berlin, serving as the central bank of Germany. 1877. Queen Victoria is proclaimed Empress of India at the Delhi Durbar. 1880. Construction of the Panama Canal begins. 1880. India introduces the money order system. 1890. Italy establishes Eritrea as a colony. 1890. The Rose Parade, originally called the Tournament of Roses, is first held in Pasadena, California. 1891. French troops occupy Nioro in West Sudan, resulting in 3,000 deaths. 1892. Ellis Island begins processing immigrants into the United States. 1894. Denmark adopts Central European Time. 1894. The Manchester Ship Canal begins operations in England. 1895. Norway adopts Central European Time. 1895. Philippine revolutionary Emilio Aguinaldo joins Freemasonry at Pilar Lodge No. 203, Imus, Cavite. 1898. Brooklyn merges with New York City, forming the modern city of New York. Year 1901. The founding of the Commonwealth of Australia marks the nation's independence. 1902. Nathan Stubblefield conducts the first public demonstration of his wireless telephone system in Murray, Kentucky. 1903. India hosts the Delhi Durbar for Edward VII's coronation as emperor, freeing 16,000 prisoners as a gesture of goodwill. 1906. The British government accepts the Indian Standard Time. 1906. Leo Wime opens the Wimetoscope in Montreal, marking Canada's first permanent cinema. 1907. President Theodore Roosevelt sets a record by shaking hands with 8,513 people in one day. 1909. Drilling commences on the Lakeview Gusher, setting the stage for a historic United States oil spill. 1909. Britain passes the Old Age Pension Act, offering financial support to elderly citizens over 70 with low earnings. 1911. South Australia transfers control of the Northern Territory to the federal government. 1912. China transitions to a republic with Sun Yat-sen taking office as its inaugural president. 1913. The United States Post Office launches parcel post deliveries. 1914. Northern and southern Nigeria are unified into the British colony of Nigeria. 1914. Tony Janus pilots the first scheduled airline flight from St. Petersburg to Tampa. 1919. Edsel Ford becomes president of the Ford Motor Company, succeeding his father, Henry Ford. 1922. Vancouver, British Columbia adopts driving on the right side of the road. 1923. Britain's railways are consolidated into the Big Four: London and North Eastern Railway, Great Western Railway, Southern Railway, and London, Midland and Scottish Railway. 1925. Norway officially changes the name of its capital from Christiania to Oslo. 1928. The Milam Building in San Antonio becomes the first air-conditioned office building in the United States. 1930. Jurgens and Vandenberg merge with Lever Brothers to create Unilever. 1932. The United States Post Office Department issues 12 commemorative stamps marking the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. 1934. The International Telecommunication Union comes into existence. 1934. Alcatraz Island becomes a United States federal prison. 1935. The Associated Press launches Wire Photo, a service for transmitting photographs over telegraph lines. 1936. The New York Herald Tribune becomes the first newspaper to microfilm its current issues. 1937. Anastasio Somoza Garcia takes office as President of Nicaragua. 1937. The use of safety glass in vehicle windscreens becomes mandatory in Great Britain. 1942. The United States and 25 other nations sign a joint declaration opposing the Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan. 1946. Emperor Hirohito of Japan states that he is not a god. 1947. Britain brings its coal industry under state ownership. 1948. The Constitution of Italy takes effect. 1948. British Railways is nationalized by the British Transport Commission under the Transport Act 1947. 1948. Orissa Province becomes part of India. 1949. The ceasefire took effect in Kashmir during the Indo-Pakistani War of 1947-48. 1949. Tokelau Islands officially become part of New Zealand under the British Nationality and New Zealand Citizenship Act of 1948. 1950. The princely state of Ajaygarh becomes part of India. 1955. Bhutan releases its inaugural set of postage stamps. 1956. A New Year's event at Yahiko Shrine in Niigata, Japan, causes panic and stampedes, resulting in at least 124 deaths. 1957. France returns Saarland to West Germany, which becomes the 10th state of the Federal Republic of Germany. 1957. Georgetown, Penang, receives city status from Queen Elizabeth II. 1958. The European Economic Community is established as a precursor to the European Union. 1959. Fidel Castro's forces overthrow the Fulgencio Batista regime in Cuba. 1961. Russia issues a new ruble, valued at $1.11. 1962. Belgium grants internal self-government to Rwanda. 1965. The People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan is established in Kabul. 1966. Colonel Jean Bedel Bokassa leads a military coup in the Central African Republic, establishing his dictatorship. 1967. St. Helena officially enacts its constitution. 1968. The Netherlands introduces color television. 1970. The epoch, marking time zero for Unix systems, begins at midnight GMT. 1972. Police women are officially enlisted as full members of the South African Police Force. 1972. International Book Year begins. 1973. Britain, Ireland, and Denmark join the European Economic Community. 1973. General Sam Manekshaw was made the first Field Marshal of the Indian Army. 1975. International Women's Year begins. 1975. The Constitution of Sweden takes effect. 1976. Oil fields in Venezuela are nationalized. 1977. Czech intellectuals established the human rights group, Charter 77. 1977. Jacqueline Allen Means becomes the first woman formally ordained as an Episcopal priest. 1978. An Air India Flight 855 explodes near Bombay, resulting in 213 fatalities. 1979. International Year of the Child officially begins. 1979. The United States and the People's Republic of China establish diplomatic relations. 1980. Victoria is named Crown Princess of Sweden. 1981. Greece joins the European Economic Community. 1981. The International Year of Disabled Persons begins. 1981. Prime Minister Abdou Diouf becomes President of Senegal. 1981. Roger Smith takes over as CEO of General Motors. 1981. The International Decade of Water and Sanitation officially begins. 1983. The ARPANET officially transitions to the TCP/IP Internet Protocol, laying the foundation for the modern Internet. 1983. World Communications Year commences. 1985. Ernie Wise, a famous comedian, makes the first British public mobile phone call to Vodafone. 1985. International Youth Year commences. 1985. VH1 begins broadcasting. 1985. New York enforces the United States' first mandatory seatbelt law. 1986. International Peace Year kicks off. 1986. South African government closes borders with Lesotho after refusal to sign a non-aggression pact, cutting off key food and fuel supplies. 1986. Spain and Portugal join the European Economic Community as its 11th and 12th members. 1987. The world observes the International Year of Shelter for the Homeless. 1991. Iraq declines a peace proposal from Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak regarding the occupation of Kuwait. 1992. India and Pakistan exchange lists of their nuclear installations for the first time. 1992. The International Space Year kicks off. 1993. The European Economic Community of 12 members set up a vast free trade zone. 1993. Czechoslovakia peacefully split into two separate countries, the Czech Republic and Slovakia. 1994. The North American Free Trade Agreement goes into effect, creating a trilateral trade bloc. 1994. The Zapatista Army of National Liberation begins 12 days of armed conflict in the Mexican state of Chiapas. 1995. Austria, Finland, and Sweden join the European Union. 1995. Fernando Henrique Cardoso takes office as President of Brazil. 1995. The detection of the Draupner wave in the North Sea, Norway, confirms the existence of freak waves. 1995. The World Trade Organization is established. 1998. California mandates all bars, clubs, and card rooms to be smoke-free. 1999. Austria, Belgium, Finland, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Luxembourg, Portugal, and Spain adopt the euro as its currency. Year 2000. The world enters a new millennium. 2000. Gisborne, New Zealand becomes the first city in the world to welcome the new millennium. 2001. Greece adopts the euro as its currency. 2001. The city of Calcutta adopts the name Kolkata. 2002. Euro currency is introduced in 12 countries in Europe. 2002. Taiwan, under the name Chinese Taipei, officially joins the World Trade Organization. 2002. The Open Skies Mutual Surveillance Treaty, signed in 1992, officially takes effect. 2004. General Pervez Musharraf wins 658 out of 1,170 votes in the Electoral College and is declared President of Pakistan. 2007. Slovenia adopts the euro as its currency. 2007. Adam Air Flight 574 vanishes over Indonesia with 102 people aboard. 2007. Bulgaria and Romania join the European Union, and Bulgarian, Romanian, and Irish become official EU languages. 2008. Cyprus, Malta adopts the euro as its currency. 2009. Slovakia adopts the euro as its currency. 2009, the government of the Republic of China adopts Hanyu Pinyin as its official Chinese romanization, replacing Tongyong Pinyin. 2011, Estonia officially adopts the euro as its currency. 2014, Latvia joins the Eurozone, replacing the Lats with the euro. 2015, the Eurasian Economic Union comes into effect, forming a political and economic union of Russia, Belarus, Armenia, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan. 2015, Lithuania adopts the euro as its currency. 2016, China implements the first phase of its new two-child policy in select provinces. 2017, Portuguese diplomat Antonio Guterres replaces Ban Ki-moon as Secretary General of the United Nations. 2018, 300 Hollywood women launched the Time's Up initiative to fight sexual harassment. 2019, Jair Bolsonaro starts his 4-year term as President of Brazil. 2019, Qatar imposes a 100% tax on health-damaging goods, doubling the prices of alcohol, tobacco, energy drinks, and pork. 2019, Qatar ends its 57-year membership in the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. 2021, the African Continental Free Trade Area, signed by 54 countries, comes into effect, with full implementation expected over time. 2023, Croatia adopts the euro as its currency. 2023, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is sworn in as Brazil's 39th president, marking his third term. 2024, Ethiopia strikes a controversial deal with Somaliland to lease part of its coastline, becoming the first country to recognize it as separate from Somalia. 2024, a 7.6 magnitude earthquake hits Japan's western coast, killing around 120 people and injuring over 100. 2024, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE join BRICS as new members. 2025, Bulgaria and Romania join the Schengen area, removing land border controls. 2025, Ukraine halts Russian gas transit, ending its agreement with Gazprom and cutting off supply to Transnistria, Moldova's separatist region. Sports events. On 1st January 1840, the first recorded bowling match in the United States takes place at Knickerbocker Alleys in New York City. 1902, the first American college football bowl game is played between Michigan and Stanford. 1908, Jack Hobbs makes his international debut in England's second Test victory over Australia at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, scoring 83 and 28 in his innings, eventually become the first player to score 5,000 Test runs, and holds the record for the most runs in first-class cricket history. 1909, American Robert Fowler sets a world marathon record with a time of 2 hours 52 minutes, 45.4 seconds in Yonkers, New York. 1935, the first Orange Bowl takes place, with Bucknell defeating Miami 26-0. 1949, Australian cricket legend Don Bradman scores 132 on the first day of the third Test against India and follows it up with an unbeaten 127 in the second innings, leading Australia to victory by 233 runs. 1954, the Rose and Cotton Bowls feature the first color broadcasts of sports events. 1959, Rohan Kanhai, West Indies, scores 256 runs against India in Calcutta Test. 1965, Stanley Matthews, 49, former England international soccer forward, becomes the only player to receive a knighthood while still playing for Stoke City. 1994, Alexander Popov set a world record in the 100 meters freestyle 47.83 seconds at the World Cup short course event in Hong Kong. 1995, Raman Lamba 312 and Ravi Sehgal 216 set an Indian first-class record with a 4-6-4-run opening partnership in Delhi's innings and 3-10-run victory over Himachal Pradesh in a Ranji Trophy match. 2010, new FINA rules ban body-length swimsuits. Men's suits must cover from waist to knee, women's from shoulder to knee. Fabric must be textile or woven. 2013, Magnus Carlsen surpasses Garry Kasparov's chess-FIDE rating, reaching 2,861. 2013, Phil Taylor wins his 16th and final PDC World Darts Championship title, defeating Michael van Gerwen 7-4 in the London final. 2014, Michael van Gerwen wins his first PDC World Darts Championship, defeating Peter Wright 7-4, marking the first final without an Englishman. 2014, New Zealand's Corey Anderson hits a record century off 36 balls in a 159-run ODI win over the West Indies in Queenstown, finishing unbeaten on 131 off 47 balls. 2018, Vidarbha wins its first Ranji Trophy title in 61 years, beating Delhi by 9 wickets in the final in Indore. Medium pacer Rajneesh Gurbani shines with 6 wickets. 2018, Rob Cross beats 16-time world champion Phil Taylor 7-2 in the final of Taylor's last World Championship in London. 2019, Michael van Gerwen wins his third PDC World Darts Championship, defeating Michael Smith 7-3 in the final at Alexandra Palace, London. 2020, Peter Wright beats Michael van Gerwen 7-3 to win his first PDC World Darts Championship in London. Independence Day on January 1st. 1804, Haiti declares its independence from France. 1846, the Yucatan Peninsula declares independence from Mexico. 1956, Sudan gains independence from Anglo-Egyptian rule. 1960, Cameroon gains independence from France. 1962, Western Samoa becomes independent from New Zealand. 1984, Brunei gains independence from the United Kingdom. 1986, Aruba gains independence from Curaçao Island. Art and culture events on January 1st. 1672, the 5-act tragedy play Bajazet by Jean Racine premieres in Paris, France. 1818, Mary Shelley publishes Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus, a landmark in Gothic literature. 1958, American country singer Johnny Cash performs the first of his many free prison concerts at San Quentin Prison. 1963, Astro Boy, the first popular Japanese animated TV series based on Osamu Tezuka's manga, premieres on Fuji TV in Japan. 2011, the Oprah Winfrey Network launches on television. Notable deaths on 1st January. 1894, German physicist Heinrich Hertz, who first proves the existence of electromagnetic waves, dies. The unit of frequency is later named in his honor. 1933, geologist Hemchand Dasgupta is recognized for his key role in the Indian Science Congress and for co-founding the Geological Mining and Metallurgical Society of India. 1944, Edwin Lutyens, the English architect who plans the Indian capital of New Delhi, passes away. 1953, Hank Williams, American singer and guitarist regarded as one of the most influential country artists, passes away. 1955, Indian scientist Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar, director of the Industrial Research Council, known for founding key national labs, passes away. 1972, Maurice Chevalier, French singer, actor, and entertainer known for songs like Livin' in the Sunlight, Valentine, and Louise, passes away. 1983, Dara Nusarwanji Kurode, prominent Indian entrepreneur in the milk industry and former milk commissioner of Mumbai, passes away. He was honored with the Padma Bhushan in 1964 and the Ramon Magsaysay Award in 1963. Famous birth anniversary on 1st January. 1449, birth of Lorenzo de' Medici, the Florentine statesman and politician renowned for bringing peace and prosperity to Florence during the Italian Renaissance. 1864, Alfred Stieglitz, American photographer regarded as the father of modern photography and a pioneer in elevating photography as fine art, is born. 1879, birth of E.M. Forster, the British novelist celebrated for his works A Passage to India and Howard's End. 1889, Sampurnanand, prominent freedom fighter, politician, and writer, is born. He later serves as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh and Governor of Rajasthan, India. 1892, Mahadev Haribhai Desai, freedom fighter and trusted secretary of Mahatma Gandhi, is born. He takes part in the Champaran, Bardoli, and Salt Satyagrahas. 1894. Birth of Satyendra Nath Bose, Indian mathematician and physicist known for his work with Einstein on quantum mechanics and for founding Bose statistics and the theory of Bose-Einstein condensate. 1895. J. Edgar Hoover, American administrator and the first director of the FBI, is born. He later oversees major events like Prohibition and the Civil Rights Movement. 1919. J.D. Salinger, American author renowned for his 1951 classic The Catcher in the Rye, is born. 1920. Birth of Maniram Bagri, prominent Indian parliamentarian and activist involved in key social movements for laborers, educators, and the agrarian community. 1937. Kashinath Singh, renowned Hindi scholar, story writer, and novelist known for his Sahitya Akademi Award-winning novel Rehan Par Raghu, is born. 1950. Dr. Rahat Indori, renowned Urdu poet, lyricist, and former professor known for his contributions to Bollywood and poetry on Hindustani Tehzeeb, is born. 1951. Vishwanath Patekar, popularly known as Nana Patekar, acclaimed actor, writer, and filmmaker in Hindi and Marathi cinema, is born. He later receives the Padma Shri in 2013 for his contributions to films and arts. 1953. Salman Khurshid Alam Khan, Indian politician, senior advocate, author, and former External Affairs Minister associated with the Indian National Congress, is born. 1979. Vidya Balan, acclaimed Indian actress in Hindi cinema and recipient of the Padma Shri, a national film award, and 6 Filmfare Awards, is born. Thank you, friends. These were the historical events related to 1st January. For more such interesting videos, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Thank you.